All right, all right, all right. You guys can take your seats. I kind of like this. So good morning, everybody. Everyone, whatever proper grammar is there. How's everybody feeling? All right, all right, all right. Hey, if this is your first time with us, if you guys are guests with us today, thank you so much for joining us and being part of our gathering this morning. As I say every Sunday, I know it's an investment of time, and so we appreciate it. And I honor the fact of you guys coming and joining us today, whether you're invited by a friend, you're here for the first time, just all by yourself. Just kudos to you. Thank you guys for joining us. And wanted to say hello to everybody who is listening on the podcast, who's watching video on the website or a shared video, and also out there in Periscope land. As always, can we just put our hands together and just say hello to everybody who's listening and watching? Hey, hey. I'm like super jazzed this morning, but simultaneously pretty nervous. This is probably one of the most important messages I'll give all year, and so I'm about to explode. And I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's just kind of how I'm feeling. Today I'm going to share with you guys my heart, what's been just rolling around in my soul for the last couple months, probably about a year, some of this stuff. What I feel like God's shown me where the future of our church is going. And so I wanted to take a moment and share that with you guys this morning. And so we just call it a Vision Sunday, just getting some vision for where God's going to take us. So Epic brands itself as a church for the rest of us, as many of you guys know, you've seen or heard. And that just means that anyone and everyone is welcome, especially those that would consider themselves sinners and seekers and cynics and the people who might not fit into what they consider themselves a typical church person. We think that we're full of everyone across the spectrum, and so that's what makes us the rest of us. But there's a reason why we do what we do, and it's this phrase you hear a lot or may see it a lot, till all come to life. Like, that's the finish line that we are running towards. That's why we meet every Sunday. That's why we do the groups we do and the Grow and going to reach people in Reynosa, Mexico. And we do it till all come to life, because that's what we're really excited about, is seeing people come to life in Jesus. I mean, because Jesus has a way of just breathing new life into us. He even said that, like John 10:10, I've come to give life and to give it abundantly, or to give a lot of it, so like extravagantly. I'm going to lavishly just give life, pour life into you and cause you to come to life. And so last week, we baptized 22 people that profess to come to life in Jesus. Got him! I just find that video. I love that shot there. 22 people at one time. It's our largest baptism yet. And we were super excited last week to do that. And so now, without further ado, I want to get a chance to celebrate these 22 lives that have come to life with all of you. So turn your attention to the screen and check this video out. Last week's baptism.
Waking up knowing there's a reason.
This baptism represents, when we go down, it's the death of our old self. It's yesterday is gone. All that stuff that happened before is dead, gone, never to be seen again. That brief moment while we're buried under the water, just for a second to us, it symbolizes that that old man being buried, being gone, set aside, never to come back again. And as we emerge from the water, that's that new life, that's that resurrection. We're going to celebrate it in a couple of weeks at Easter. Christ stepping out of the tomb, brand new, resurrected. That's what this symbolizes today. And so I love that phrase at the end, that new life, that we get to experience this new life. So, we good? Yeah. Any questions? All right, let's do it.
Your perfect love sees me soar. God, your freedom is an open door. You are everything I want and more. You lead the way, God, you're right beside me. In your love, I'm complete. There's nothing like living with you. This life you created, I choose this. This is living now. This is living now. You take me higher than I've been before. It's your perfect love that sees me soar. God, your freedom is an open door. You are everything I want and more. You lead the way, God, you're right beside me. In your love, I'm complete. There's nothing like living with you. This life you created, I choose is living now. This is living now. You take me higher than I've been before. It's your perfect love that sees me soar. God, your freedom is an open door. You are everything I want and more. Take me higher than before. God, your see the sun now bursting through the clouds, black and white, turns to color all around. All is new in the Savior I am found. See the sun now bursting through the clouds, black and white, turns to color all around. All is new in the Savior I am found. This is living now. 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 You take me higher than I've been before. It's your perfect love that sees me soar. God, your freedom is an open door. You are everything I want and more. This is living now.
So if you were baptized last week, I want you to stand up and join me up on stage. We get a chance to hear from them. Let's give them a hand as they come on up. Yeah. On this side over here. Come on up. Yes, come on over here. Line up, line up. Yeah, sure, that works. So I know you guys are super excited about staying on stage. Now come around here. Come around here. No hiding behind the stands. No hiding. Yeah, you're good. You're good. Right there. Line up. Good job. What's up, Josh? Kyle. Somebody, what happened to your hand? Yeah. Hey. Oh no. All right. All right. This awesome looking group. And so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get a chance to ask them questions I've already asked and answers I've already heard, but I want to allow them an opportunity to share with you. We have a large group, so I've tried to get them to limit the comments to it's like 60 to 120 seconds, somewhere in there, if we can do it. And Nick's assured me that that's impossible, so we'll save him for last. And so I'm going to ask them just one at a time to come and share and tell you in a brief way their conversion and what God's done in their life and how they have come to life in Jesus. And so Let's start all the way in the end. Come on up. Come on up. So I'm going to get you to just share your name with everybody because not everybody here knows you. And then ask, I guess, if there's anybody in the crowd that you would like to appreciate for introducing you to Christ or even bringing you to the church. So.
All right. You know, my name is Spencer. I would like to thank Carl, Miss Laura for bringing me here. Thank my dad right there. And I don't know, I just feel like a new person.
Thanks, Spencer. You see, we got a lot of the Epic youth up here on the stage too. So, woot, woot. So first, share your name.
My name's Lacey, and I want to thank my mom and my dad for bringing me here. And we've been through like a lot this year, and like Christ has made me a new person and look at things differently and in a positive way. So.
All right, you know the drill.
My name is Kristen. I want to thank Melanie and also Rebecca for bringing me here. And after being baptized, I feel, like a new person. I went through a rough time with the loss of my mom over the last few months. And Epic and people were Epic were my support through a tough time.
Let's stay on this side.
Yep. Hi, my name is Melanie, and I want to thank Rob for bringing me here. And being baptized really just cemented my foundation with Christ and with the church, and just really allowing me to just become whole again and understanding that I'm always loved. So.
My name is Rebecca. I would like to thank Mandy Sasser-Lewin, who's in the house somewhere, for bringing me to Epic a couple years ago. I decided to get baptized to strengthen my relationship with Christ, as well as Melanie, to know I'm loved. And I've met a wonderful family here at Epic, and I'm proud to say I'm a part of the Epic family.
My name's Rachel, and the reason that I wanted to get baptized, I was baptized as a kid. I was probably, I think, maybe 7 or so the first time that I got baptized. And then I had kind of walked away from God a little bit, and then kind of came back and started coming to Epic. Chris and Lori are the reason that I started coming. And then me and Brandon got together when I started coming back here. And so I just wanted to get rebaptized just to just recommit myself back to God. Since I had walked away, I kind of felt like I needed to do it, not just to show other people that I had changed, but to show myself.
She just left me hanging. Come back. My name is Brandon, and I've been baptized a whole bunch of times. I love it. It's so much fun. Just try to keep it 100. I'm here because of Pastor Chris and Lori, so thank you guys. They've been a huge influence and role models in my life, and so I think that's probably why I keep getting baptized, because they keep doing it. And but no, I haven't. A lot's changed in my life since I got married, and I have a daughter, and so I just wanted to kind of just refresh and do it with my wife and get baptized together to set the bar, I guess, for our family and just moving forward together. So I feel alive.
I'm Rachel. I'd like to thank Rob and my friend Heather Hahn for bringing me here. It's been probably at least a year that I've been talking to Heather about coming, and then I've met Rob after that. So I'm finally here, and I've been resisting getting back in my relationship with God, and now I just feel like I've been coming here for pretty much almost a year now, I think, in a couple weeks. And it's just the testament to myself and to show everyone else my faith.
I noticed on the video you did me a favor in the pool. When I watched it, you kind of helped me go down a little bit. I just couldn't help it. I couldn't help it.
Hey guys, my name's Mike. I've been going to Epic about 3 years now. Not to sound like a broken record, but I guess I need to thank Rob for bringing me here. I grew up in a Methodist church, so I think when I was 14, I guess they call it christened. So it's just they dab a little bit of water on you, call it a day. And Rachel had mentioned that she wanted to get baptized and asked me if I would do it with her. And I thought it was a good idea, and I like the fact that, we're fully immersed. It kind of, you can't like do it halfway. You have to make that commitment and go in all in. So I thought it was a good idea to reaffirm my faith in Jesus and do it again.
Hi, I'm Caitlin, and I would like to thank Melinda and my mom for bringing me to church. And I got baptized because it felt that I made myself stronger in life.
Tag along. She doesn't want to talk by herself. Hi, I'm Jamie, and behind me is Madison. We got baptized as a family. It was awesome. I want to thank Melinda and Norman for bringing me here. Our group was broken about 8 months ago, and it was your sermon that day that she brought me. A lot of people get goosebumps and feel the Spirit maybe later on. It was that day. It was that day that I felt you were talking just to me. There was nobody else in that room but you and you were talking, and we've been coming ever since. Thanks.
Hi, my name's Laura. And as Jamie said, our group was broken. And you and Lori have shown me sun when it's been dark. And I know that there's a reason that I'm here, and I'm giving my life to God. Thank you.
What's up, everyone? My name's Josh, and I got saved about a year ago in a week, which is awesome. I actually started coming to Epic in November, so it was much after that, but I'd like to thank my parents and my family that's always been there for me and praying for me through all the years. I was born and raised in the church, Catholic church, until I was like 10, Methodist until I was like 14, and I lost a brother in a car accident at that point. And at that point, I lost my faith, and I lost it for several years. I mean, I was 14, I'm 30 now, so it's more than half my life I lived thinking I was an atheist. Throughout that time, I had been trying to fill a hole in my life, or a gap, with just about anything I could get my hands on, whether it be drugs, alcohol, marijuana, just about anything. I was constantly trying to fill a hole. I was never happy or anything like that in my life, and I think God needed me to hit bottom in order to raise me up, and that's what he did for me about a year ago. Thank you. I found myself, long story short, I found myself in central booking, and I found God when I was in there. I asked him I thought of everything that my family had taught me through all the years, and I asked Jesus to come into my life, and I was filled with the Holy Spirit, and it was one of the most amazing experiences of my life, and I'd be happy to tell anybody about it. It's totally true that, if you're feeling a weight on your shoulders, or if you're unhappy or anything like that, all you have to do is ask Jesus to come into your life, and he will lift that weight off your shoulders. I know for a fact. I went from being an atheist to a believer within a matter of 30 seconds. It was amazing. But since then, God has been doing amazing things in my life. I've been coming here to Epic since November, and I'll tell you, I'm the healthiest I've ever been, emotionally, spiritually, physically, everything. And God can do amazing things in your life.
Morning, everybody. I'm Kyle. I want to thank Tiffany and Jessica over there for bringing me to Epic. Same thing, kind of like Josh. I faded away from my faith there for quite a few years, and it was family that really brought me back. And I started going to church maybe in another area for quite a few months, and then I actually live on the other side of town here in Dundalk, and friends over here found Epic for me, which was I found like I really fit in here, and I love the church, and I decided to get baptized because it was a symbol to myself that it was my new relationship with God. Now that I had turned my life back with God, I got my relationship back with God. I wanted to kind of symbolize that to Him, and it was just a thing between me and God. So thanks, Chris.
Hi, my name is Anna, and I've been coming to Epic for 6 years now. I was raised in the church. I have a mom that has always raised me to be a good person and to follow Christ. Growing up, I had some issues with churches where things happened, and I saw the human aspect of the churches that kind of scared me away. And then I moved to Baltimore, and I found a flyer for Epic, and I came. And that first Sunday coming, Pastor Lori pulled me in, sitting next to her during the service, then invited me back to watch a football game at the church that evening. And then Pastor Chris talked me into going to a small group that's now become my family. So I'm just blessed to be here. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Nick, and this is my wife, Candace. I told Chris my story's more like a 6-week series, so I'm going to try to get it down to 90 seconds. Anyway, we both knew of God, but we didn't know Him. And it just felt like our marriage was missing something, our friendship together was missing something, being parents was missing something. And I just found it with God. I didn't think I'd get stuck like this. It's just amazing. This guy makes it pretty easy too, man. It's just the way he communicates with you and you understand. I mean, I've been to churches before where it's just you walk out there and you're like, what did I just sit through? I mean, I got nothing out of it before. And now it's like, I even tell people, it's like, even if you don't believe in God and you come to church, it's going to make you a better person. I mean, just you can learn to love God just by coming here and learning what He can do for you. So.
I feel like I got 30 cups of coffees in me right now. My goodness gracious, my heart's pounding. I'm like, all right, and one more, and I'm coming up next. Not to give a plug, but at the Next Step table, we have these little books of John. So, and, well, if you guys come and see me, get some information, next steps. We need volunteers for Easter, by the way. Obviously, I'm nervous, but John 3, I want you guys to read that, okay? I was going to read it, but Chris said 60 to 120 seconds, and I'm overdue. So, you know, for me, I knew that I wanted to get baptized, you know, a while ago, and, you know, I kept on thinking in the back of my mind, well, it's just not right. I'm just not quite there yet. Almost maybe like where I think I need to get a little bit more pure, a little bit more perfect. And it just, you know, I realized, I said, Roy, that's not going to happen. You know, I'm a hot mess, you know, and, you know, one of the questions was, well, you know, how do you think you were before and how do you think you are now? I'm like, well, okay, well, I'm a hot mess, but I'm a hot mess that I got baptized. So, and I think that, you know, we're all on a different spiritual journey, and we keep on waiting that we're going to get to this next plateau or this next step. And bottom line is that you just need to do it. And but read John 3, influences. There's so many people that I can thank that have just been positive influences in my life and have, you know, kept me in the right direction, from family to friends to people that I've met at Epic. And it really boils down to, in life, who you're going to surround yourself with. And, you know, those choices and those decisions that you're going to make, those people can hold you accountable. I know Chris did a sermon a while ago, and he says you're one decision away, or one choice away, or one friend away from, going down a wrong path. And that is so true. So, it definitely keeps things in perspective. And, a lot of people mention Rob. I've been friends with Rob for years. And, I mean, that guy's influenced me in all different types of ways, good and bad. And, I mean, for all I know, we could be in a teepee out in Arizona, eating hallucinogenic mushrooms right now. And I would be like, okay, I think this is the path we need to be on. And, can you give me another? So anyway, Rob, I just have to have fun with you, big dog. So thank you, guys. Be good.
Can we tell all these people how thankful we are for the decision they made? You guys are good. All right, you're done. You're done. No more torture. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you, man. Good job. Good game, bro. All right. How awesome was that, huh? We ask the people going through the baptism class to answer a couple questions. And the first one is, if they want to appreciate anyone and someone that led them to Christ at the church. And then we ask them, tell us who you were before you met Jesus, and then now tell us who you are because of Christ. And you get answers like, I was dead, now I'm alive, or I was lost and now I'm found. I was broken, now I'm mended. I was hurt and now I'm healed. And those words speak volumes. I wish we had more time to go into each of the different stories that were up here, and some people gave you snapshots of where they came from, but the time would never allow to see how God can take a life and find us wherever we are and breathe new life into us, and we become these new creations. And this is just a glimpse, not even the tip of the iceberg of what God's done in all of these lives. And I encourage you to talk to one of these 22 people and get a chance to hear their story. But that's why we celebrate it. And that's why we do what we do, till all have come to life, just like the life that you've seen on stage. Some of them are hot messes, as Roy so eloquently put it. Some have come great lengths, but each of them have come to life in their own way. And that's why we do what we do. That's why this church exists. That's why I stand on this stage every week. That's why people come here hours ago to set this stuff up. That's why people are practicing and preparing throughout the week. That's why this church exists, for that very reason, so people can come to life in Christ. And so I wanted to share with you guys where I think God's taken us as a church, and maybe forecast a little bit of the future ahead. And do you guys mind dreaming with me just for a little bit? So I'm going to ask everybody to close their eyes just for a couple minutes here. Fight off the sleep if you can, just a minute or two. Can you imagine with me a church that baptizes 1,000 people a year? Not only the amazing 22 that we just saw, but maybe people in your family, the coworkers and people you work with, whose broken marriage seems like there's no hope in it. Maybe baptizing that neighbor whose life has fallen apart, or maybe your spouse who's just distant from God. Can you see a church in your mind when you dream where these people are coming to life in Christ, and they're finding hope in Jesus, and they're coming to know Him in a deeper way, and finding freedom for that thing that they just can't get away from? Maybe that person has discovered a purpose and the reason why they're alive. Maybe that person's making an eternal difference in the life of others for the first time. Can you imagine, when you close your eyes, a church that maybe has its own building, maybe a permanent space somewhere? Can you visualize it? Maybe one location of many locations. Then when you drive on the parking lot, there's a team of people out there with their shiny neon vests and directing you to parking spots, and they have the brightest smiles, like they woke up that day. It was the highlight of their week to get you to the best parking spot possible. Maybe when you get out of your car and you actually come to the building, you walk in, someone is standing there with so much joy just to hold the door to welcome you into that building. It feels like family. People to welcome you when you step in, and maybe when you glance around, maybe visualize this for me with your eyes closed. Maybe to the right when you come in, there's a wall of pictures, a collage of projects or different small groups that meet throughout the week, maybe mission trips to Africa, maybe into Asia and India and Mexico, and maybe even the United States. Just a wall of pictures. It's almost too many to count. Maybe when you turn around and look over to your other right there, you see an Epic Kids wing that looks like something out of Disney World. There's so much life and vibrance happening down there, and you can feel the music pumping, and you see the kids that just can't wait to get in. And when you go over and check in your kids, the people that are most important to you in the world, did you know it's safe, it's secure, it's fun, and you know that there's going to be an anchor set in their heart to know the grace and the hope, the truth and the beauty of Jesus? Can you imagine a church that when you turn around has multiple doors opening wide into this theater, this place where you know there's kind of a main service that's coming, and as you step in, there's this atmosphere of expectation. It's just this buzz happening in the air, and you can't put your finger on it. You don't know what it is. Then when the first notes are played in their song, you're fighting back tears of joy because it just feels so right. Can you imagine a church when someone steps on the stage and they give a message? It's so saturated in grace and practicality that you can't wait to leave, to go apply it, while simultaneously you just don't want it to end. Can you imagine a church that before the end of the service, it just takes a moment to pause? It allows time to process what God's been speaking to you that day. Can you imagine that church seats many hundreds of people, but you know it's just one of the weekend services that are happening back to back to back to back. A church that has the homeless seated next to the CEO, the single mom next to the retired widow, the fired up teenager next to the newlywed couple, the professional baseball player next to the 9-to-5 construction worker. A church that has a Christian of 40 years next to the agnostic that's still processing this balance of faith and reason. The pastor's kids next to the recovering addict. A church that has the black, white, yellow, red, mixed, multiracial, the rich, the poor, the middle class, the upper class, the classless, all sitting together. Can you imagine a church where the weekend feels like a family reunion of people that know you and you know them in the best way possible? That where when the parents go to pick up their kids, they just can't seem to slow down with the excitement of what they just learned. Can you imagine a church where in that location they can host their own Be Warm Baltimore outreaches and host multiple events to cure injustices that plague our city streets? A place that's open 24 hours for whatever it may need be. A place where people are coming to connect with God, find freedom together. They're discovering their purpose and their passion. They're making a difference in the lives of others. Can you imagine a church that felt like home? A place called Epic. Can you see it? Can you feel it? I want you to open your eyes with me. This is what I see every day. And this is what haunts me every moment. And I wake up every day and there's breath in my lungs and I say, God, there's more people to reach. This room can only hold so many people. God, what are we going to do? And he says, hey, you can do it a couple times a weekend. And he says, Chris, you think it's outside of my ability to give you a space that's 3, 4, 5 times the size of this? I say, no, God, you're right. Sorry, I'm an idiot. This is what I see when my dreams. This is what I see when I'm awake. This is what I see when I look in the mirror. This is what I see when I look out and I see you. I see God starting a movement in Baltimore. And it's only the beginning. The past few weeks I've had this verse rolling around inside of me, and I can't shake it, and I want to share it with you this morning. 1 Chronicles chapter 4, the 10th verse. A few thousand years ago, there's a man who was born, and he wasn't given the greatest of names. His name actually sounds, in Hebrew, it sounds like pain or distress, and it's this guy named Jabez. And there's only 2 verses about this guy in the whole Bible. Doesn't tell you much about where he came from or what happened to him afterwards, but these 2 verses give us a glimpse into who he was and how he approached God. And I want to read these 2 verses to you before I let you go today. It says, there was a man named Jabez who was more honorable than all of his other brothers. His mother named him Jabez because his birth had been so painful. She named him Pain. It's not a good start. The 10th verse, though, it says, he was the one. So apparently, there was a legend about this guy. There was a story that had been around that, hey, remember, he was the one. This was the guy who made a difference, where his foot hit the ground and said, you know what, God, I'm not going any further until you do something. He was the one. He was the one who prayed to the God of Israel, oh, that you would bless me and expand my territory. And please be with me in all that I do and keep me from all trouble and pain. And I love this ending. And God granted him his request. Jabez asked 4 things. He said, God, I need you to bless me. I want you to expand my territory. I want you to be with me. And I need you to keep me. Our prayer lives go through cycles. When you first start praying, many of us just asking God to do stuff. God, I need you to fix this. I need you to fix that. Can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? And then our prayer life kind of grows a little bit. It evolves. And then we start praying for other people. You know, God, okay, I'm cool. I know you got me, but they need some help. God, can you help that? And God, can you be present and do something here? And there comes along a story where we remember that it's all right to pray selfishly sometimes. It encourages us, Jabez encourages us to ask God for things. Even Jesus encouraged us to ask for things. Matthew 7:7, he said, keep on asking and you will receive what you ask for. Keep on seeking and you will find. Keep on knocking and the door will be open to you. Jesus even told us it's okay to go God and ask for stuff. Paul said in Philippians, he said, don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything, that God will give you what you need and thank him for all that he has done. This prayer of Jabez is something that I've been praying over the last couple weeks for me personally, for my family, for this church, for the leadership, for everyone who serves, for the groups, people that aren't even in the room yet. I've been praying this, and I want to share it with you because I think it's changed the way that I see the future and changed the way that I see the present too. There's 4 words that come into what Jabez said, and he asked for blessing and expansion and all those things. I want to break it down to 4 simple words. The first one was blessing. He said, God, bless me. God's blessing can be defined as more than you need. If you ask God to just give you what you need, that's just called provision. God, I need $10, or I'm in trouble. You find $10, you're like, sweet, you know. He provided what I needed. Blessing is more than you need. It's meeting what your need is, and then there's this extra, like, man, I'm so blessed. I've got all these things. I don't need these things, but God, you just saw it fit to bless me with them. Having more than you need is what we would call God's blessing. The Bible's full of people celebrating God's blessing, but why would Jabez ask for more than he needed? And it takes us to that second where he said, expand my territory. I'm going to sum that up as the word influence. Influence. He said, God, I want you to bless me with more than I need so that I can influence others, so that I would grow in influence and I can use it not for myself, but for other people. So that God can take what he's blessed me with and influence others, not hoard it for myself, but so that I can cause it to influence someone. Bless me with more than I need so that I can influence others with it. Then he says, please be with me in all that I do. Third word we see is the word presence. He's like, God, I need you to walk with me because this is a long, lonely road, and I need you to be with me. I need you to walk with me. God's presence makes all the difference, right? This past week, I went with Lori, and we had a follow-up appointment with her oncologist, and those are always scary meetings, you know, like you don't know what he's going to say when you come in, like, hey, there's more stuff we got to do, or hey, this is working out well. And so London went with us, our daughter London, 5-year-old London, and she's there in the room with us, and she had her actual doctor uniform on. We got a little, it's like a Halloween costume, and she's got her stethoscope, and she's checking people out, you know, sounds good, you know. And if you really step back and think, London couldn't do anything to change what was there. She's not going to read the x-rays. She's not going to give us a diagnosis. She's not going to do anything to change it. Her presence made all the difference. You know what I mean? She just brightened the room up. Like, regardless of what the doctor said, London was going to be there and was going to be like, hey, it's okay. We're going to keep going through. London's presence made all the difference in the world. Jabez says, God, I need you to be with me. Regardless of what I face, I need your presence because your presence makes all the difference in the world. Lastly, he prays for protection. He says, God, I need you to give me more than I need so I can use it to influence others. I need your presence to be with me, and then can you keep me from trouble and pain? Protection. When someone's walking in God's blessings, using it for a mission to make an eternal difference in the life of other people, they will undoubtedly face spiritual opposition. Jabez asked for God's protection from trouble, from pain. These 4 things, what I've been praying for myself. These 4 things are what I've been praying for us. And as I've been praying, God's been hitting me with some things that I think he wants to do in our church. So first off, I've been praying that God would bless this church with more than we need. It's not so that we would hoard it. It's not for my glory or anyone else's. Saying, God, I want you to bless me with more. Bless us with more. Not selfishly, but so that we could use it to influence our city. The people in our communities and our coworkers and our families and the people that we work with, the people that we live next to, the people that are elected in our government, everywhere. God, I want you to bless Epic with more than we need so we can use it to influence others. So I've been praying that God would give us 2,000 people in 2 locations by 2020. Now that's scary because I don't know how we're going to do that. Why so little? That's right. But it's a start, right? And so I'm praying that. I'm like, you know what, God? 2,000 people is going to start by filling this room once, filling this room twice, filling this room a 3rd time, having another location that's filled once, another location that's filled twice, be a 3rd time. And it's more than we need, right? Because all I need is about 2 or 3 friends in this life. All I need is a couple people that I can talk to that know me, we're cool with each other. That's about it. But I'm not comfortable with just what I need. There's 1 million people in our city that don't know the hope of Christ. And so why would we be comfortable with just enough? God, I'm praying for more than we need. God, I'm praying for more than we need, not just for us, but so that we can influence it for our city. Reaching those 2,000 people happens not just in this room, but all over the place when it's one church with multiple locations. Reaching 2,000 people happens when Epic has a permanent location somewhere. Can I get a what from the setup team? 2K20 is what I've been praying. Don't let the number fool you. Every number has a name, and every name has a story. Right? One day we'll be able to celebrate 2,000 stories of people coming to life, lives changed. People say, you know what, I need to be baptized because God's done something revolutionary in my life. It's just the beginning. Is it more than we need? Absolutely. But I'm praying God would bless us. I want to step out and be like Jabez, pray something bold so that we can influence it. We can influence our world, that people would know God, they would find freedom, they would discover purpose, and they would go out and make a difference. Leadership is influence, and all of us are leaders in some way because we influence each other. Rob, in some way, influenced Roy to come to church and also be in a teepee with mushrooms. I didn't know that story. Maybe it was hypothetical. Was it hypothetical? Oh, okay. I was like, I missed that invite. I didn't get that one. All of us influence each other in one way or another. I want to influence more than I need. I want this church to influence more than we need. I want to influence. What I see this church influencing is culture at its highest of levels. I want to influence the business leaders of our city. I want to influence the artists of our city. I want to influence the sports players of our city, whom children are watching every step of the way, right? Do they spit when they get to the plate, or do they knock dirt off their shoe? I don't know. A kid will know. Are they chewing gum or are they chewing tobacco? Kids will find out. That's their idols. If we want to influence the next generation, why don't we influence the influencers, right? I want to influence government officials for Jesus. I want to influence the next generation through mentoring. I want to influence the faceless victims of injustice in our city. I'm asking God to would bless this church with more people, more money, more opportunity, more skills, more talent, more knowledge than we need so we can influence our city. From the famous to the faceless, I want to influence them all. But we need God's presence to do it, right? Because that's too big for me. That's too big for us. But it's not too big for God. We need him to make this happen. None of us are this good. None of us are this talented. None of us are skilled enough to answer his prayer like this. We need his help to get us there. And if Epic Church starts to ask God to bless us with more people, more dollars, more skills, more opportunity, and we're asking God to walk with us so we can influence others with it, I can guarantee you this, all hell will try to stop us in the process. We will face more opposition than you can imagine. The enemy would love nothing more than to keep Baltimore at the top of the homicide list. The enemy would love nothing more to keep Baltimore at the top of the homeless lists around the country. The devil would love nothing more than to keep Baltimore atop the sexually transmitted disease lists. He would love nothing more than to take the next generation and keep them growing up without fathers in their home. A city with astronomical numbers of incarcerated men. The enemy would love to keep it there. I'm not satisfied with that. And I don't think you are either. The enemy would love nothing more than to have racial division continue in our city and to spread more and more. But it's time we stand up like Jabez did and say no more. Not in my city, not in my family, not in my neighborhood, not in my school, not my people, not us, not her, not him, not here, not now. God will prevail. Life is stronger than death. Light is greater than darkness. Good is greater than evil every single time. Greater is he that lives in us than he that lives in the world. And so we need to stand up and put our foot down and say, you know what? No. This is not enough. Until all come to life. Every single person we've ever seen and come in contact with, I won't be satisfied until they have all come to life in Christ. And if I give my last breath to see that happen, it will be a life well spent. Till all come to life. Every beggar, every executive, every teenager, every parent, every teacher, every student, every athlete, every coach, every elected official, every police officer, every employee, every boss, every unemployed of our city, our county, our neighborhood, our nation, our continent, our world, every single one of them needs the life-giving power of Jesus in their life. How dare we be comfortable with just enough when people outside of this door are dying? When there's people inside the rooms of this hotel involved in the sex trade. This hotel. Probably passing them on the elevator on our way out on a Sunday morning. How dare we be comfortable with that? I'm not. And I know you aren't either. Till all come to life. When there is a fatherless generation in our city, perpetuating broken systems of injustice, when there are people running after money and fame and prestige, which is the ultimate robbery of our eternal soul of humanity. How dare we be comfortable with just enough? That's why I'm praying, God, I want more than enough to influence our city for greatness, for Christ. God, we're asking for more than enough so we can influence Him for you. Be good stewards of the message you've given us. Be good stewards of everything you put in our hands. We need Him to help us do it, and we need His protection to make it happen. So here's the big ask I'm going to drop on you guys. Here's the big thing I want to challenge you all with. Number one, this is how we're going to make it happen. It starts by each of us discovering our passion. The way that we have that right now is through Grow. I know what you're thinking. Pastor Chris, I went through one class, and it was not the funnest thing I've ever been through before. It's okay to admit that. You don't raise your hand. Don't want you to raise your hand. We know there's some stuff broken in there. Okay? We're fixing it. Grow's not the point. All right? I don't get some pastor's award when I have hundreds of people go through Grow. I don't stand up and get recognized. And our Grow Award leader this year and all the pastors is Chris Loggeman. You know? I don't get an award for all that stuff. Grow's not the point. Connecting you to your passion and your purpose, that's the point. And so that's why we do this thing. We're fixing some stuff in there. We're going to unroll a whole new version of it in April. It's going to be fantastic. How we start doing it is knowing that God's given you a purpose and a passion on this planet and discovering what that is. Start it. If you've already started, go finish it. You might have to muscle your way through it. I apologize for that now. I guarantee it's going to be good. Just stick with us. Grow. Number 2, Dream Team. Once you discover what you're passionate about, you need to get to it. Whatever your purpose is, you need to start working at it. Whether it's in the church, outside the church, I don't care. Let us help you get it started. Let us help you jump in and do it. Howard Thurman said this: don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it. Because the world needs more people who have come alive. So discover what you're passionate about, what your purpose is, and we'll help you get to it. Let us help you answer the question of what makes you come alive. Number 3, get in a group. We talk about it all the time. Some of this room are broken and need healing. Some of us are struggling heavily and we need help. Get in a group. Do life with other people. These are big things we challenge you with all the time. And so I know these are ongoing, but I challenge you. Get in a group with people. I guarantee you there's someone that is facing the thing that you have faced or has overcome the thing that you are struggling with now. You're not alone. Stop discovering excuses why not and find reasons why. And fourthly, finally, I'll let you go after this. Easter's coming. 3 weeks away. And I want to challenge you to host someone, one of our Easter services, or our Easter service this year. Here's what we're going to do. On 27th, we're going to have one Easter service in this room at 10 o'clock. Now, even if you have public school math, you're going to think, how do we do that? Because we're almost filling this room up now. Good question. We don't know. We're just winging it. I'm just kidding. Here's what I'm anticipating. I'm anticipating this room to be full to the brim. We're going to be putting chairs all over here. Every ounce of carpet we can find that's open, we're going to slap a chair on it. It's going to be standing room only. We're probably going to be low on oxygen in here. It's going to be tight. We're going to be asking people to do the movie theater thing and scoot in. It's going to be crazy. But what I'm also anticipating is hundreds of hands going up at the end, accepting Christ for the first time. I'm anticipating lives being changed. People coming to life in Christ. And so there may be some of us that have to give up a seat. I'm not going to ask everybody to do that. I'm not going to ask anybody. We challenged some of our dream teamers and said, hey, you guys might not have a seat. When the band comes off stage, they may be all gone. Like, hey, sorry, buddy. Sit on the carpet. I don't know. I'm expecting standing room only. We're aiming for 500 people in this room, wall to wall, dozens of hands going up in the air, making a commitment to follow Christ. I'm anticipating not just 22 baptisms next time around, but let's go with 44. Why not? So here's two things I'm going to ask you to do that make this a reality. Number one, on your way out this morning, they're going to have some cards with our Easter graphics on it and information. I'm going to ask you to take a bundle of them. I want you to invite somebody to join you this Easter. Easter is probably the only time some people that you know will come to church with you. It's America. Everybody celebrates Easter for the most part. They're looking for a church to go, but they're waiting for somebody to ask them. That's your job. So we're going to give you some tools to make that happen. Grab a stack of cards, go out, hand them out, not just to strangers, which that's fine, but somebody that you know, that you've been investing in, that you've been pouring into their life, that you've been encouraging, that's been around you. Invest, then invite somebody so they can hear the life-giving message of Jesus. Second thing I'm going to challenge you to do is to pray with me. I even have some cards up here. We're not going to give them out to everybody, but those that want to, there's some cards on it that has those 4 words: blessing, influence, presence, and protection. I want to challenge you guys to be praying with me about this. God's taking us to new heights. It's bigger than me. I'm scared to death to give this message to you today because it's bigger than me. I can't do that. I can't do this. I look around and I say, man, God is too big. But I want to be bold like Jabez. Where 100 years from now, people would say, Epic Church, they're the ones that ask for more than enough. And that God would expand their territory and that they asked that God would be with them and protect them while they went and changed the world for Jesus. And he granted them their request.